what have you forgotten about that got you in the most amount of trouble with your wife? Is this rude considering the context of the movie?
Not exactly. I know I
Hmm.
have. It's not like I had a free pass to do anything. I know I've forgotten stuff, but I can't think of anything like off the top of my head that's like, boom, that's you messed up bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've had anything quite that glaring.
I mean,
Forgot to
Yes.
except for like the normal like, why did you pay the credit card bill like stuff? But like,
Oh yeah. Stuff that has like actual physical
yeah,
like consequence.
but like not like something that I tattooed to my chest and didn't and forgot to read, like nothing like
That's why I
that.
shave my head. You know what I mean? I was trying to free up that real estate for backwards written notes in the mirror. It's definitely not because the country's on fire, but you know.
Yeah. Oh god.
He went outside and was just, fuck this.
There was one night we had that was above average temperature for like the last 3 months, and like hell nah, get it off.
I
I don't like to sweat when I sleep.
I always tell myself, man, I really want to grow my hair out, and then like as soon as the heat hits, I'm like,
Yep.
I've made a mistake.
Every summer.
Jesus Christ had dreads. Well, that's too bad.
Dude, and you know what's funny is like I've been doing this for 15 years where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get long hair. It's gonna look great. I forget like my hair is gross when it's long. And then I'm like part Italian too, so it's just you make your own grease, you know?
Just thick and heavy with everything.
Yeah. And then constantly paranoid. Yeah. And then constantly paranoid about whether or not I'm like losing hair. Because you see those giant hairs come off. I'm just like,
yeah. No,
shave
like
it. Get rid of it.
oh,
I was in the 6th grade. I got braids 2 times for like 2 consecutive weeks. I haven't had a hairline since. Bro, like I got the
That's all it
Vegeta
took.
now. Like it's probably was going to happen anyway, but like that was the specific like point in time. That was the canon event that like
Just loud horns playing in the background. Yeah, I'll just give me the braids.
Meanwhile, Guy Pearce gets to run around as a blonde.
I legit wanted a hairline like Bill Murray, and all my dad's friends would be like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't." And it's come in 2 or 3 times. This is the furthest my hair's been back. Like it literally was down here and then kind of triangled, and then went like this, and then kind of triangled, and now it's just gotta. I mean, it'll do.
Was it like a monkey paw event where like it's like you grant your wish, but it grants it like kind of fucked up?
But all right, now let me not mess this up. All right, but thank you for joining us today. If this is your first time with us, we're the secret group of brown kids. Who are the secret group of brown kids? Well, it's a secret. But you might be able to find us checking out our tattoos and collection of sticky notes for clues to figure out why we walked into this room in a non-linear fashion, of course.
Yeah, non-linear is
Dude.
is a nice way of saying it.
Ugh.
Disorienting would have been another.
Oh man. And on the panel today, we got Tim and Ren for our second Christopher Nolan mini-series episode. And I'm Tiff, your host. And what movie are we doing today? If you haven't already figured it out.
I forgot.
It's Memento. He forgot.
I didn't write it down.
You didn't tattoo it on your chest.
Sounds like you were trying to forget it. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, Memento, Christopher Nolan's second feature film. What year is this? 2000? Yeah, 2000.
A little bit of table setting. Other movies that came out at the same time. Huge year for movies. I guess we can always say that like looking back at it.
Yeah,
but just a stupid amount of movies that like I look back at and just like, oh my god, like
just one
literally same year. Yeah, like Requiem for a Dream was also 2000s.
Tim's favorite movie.
Yeah, we were literally just talking about that.
Ooh, buddy. I still don't understand why I've only seen it one time, but I know so much that happened in that movie.
That's
Just
why. That's
it's
why
a
you only
canon
see it one
event.
time.
In
Canon
there.
event.
You don't
Canon
need to
event.
see the. You don't need to see it again.
But sorry, I trailed off. Like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Snatch.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Snatch
2000s.
is Snatch is top 5.
Battle Royale. Like,
Yes.
Ooh,
yeah. I'm just like,
man.
dude, banger, banger, banger. American Psycho and The Cell.
The Cell. Hell
Yes, dude.
People do not give that movie enough credit.
It just cracks me up because, like, while watching it, it felt older in so many ways than like a 2000 movie.
Yeah.
I was listening to, I forgot what I was listening to, but they mentioned The Cell. They were saying how, like, speaking of Christopher Nolan, he explained the movie Inception as a thriller that takes place inside the structure of the mind or something.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what the hell? And then they saw it and then they're like, oh, well, that is how you describe that movie. But like the only other movie that really got away with it perfectly was The Cell. And I was like, oh yeah, The Cell.
Which was also cool. If you guys ever plan on watching that.
That's one of my
yeah.
favorite movies.
Yeah, I'd be down.
So yeah, if you don't know what it's about, a man tries to track down the person who raped and murdered his wife, but he suffers from a rare form of memory loss where he isn't able to create new memories.
Oh, Christopher Nolan's 51st Dates. Like,
I like to think of it as reverse Groundhog's Day.
oh god, both of these sound bad.
No, not.
I would watch it, but it doesn't sound. It sounds like it'd be harder to pay attention to. Anything.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to say the issue with the movie, but the thing about the movie is because the main character suffers from this form of amnesia where he doesn't have any short-term memory. He's always disoriented and he always he writes down sticky notes to try and help himself, and he has tattoos to try and help himself because when the amnesia started, he remembers everything before that, but now he has to like keep trying to like find ways to stay in the moment, you know? So he has sticky notes and tattoos. And the thing about the movie is it's not, like I mentioned earlier, it's not a linear like flow, and it's meant to make you feel disoriented like he does.
It flows like oobleck. You know what I mean? Like a non-Newtonian fluid. It doesn't really just move in a straight path. It's just kind of like you slap it does something. Yeah. By the time you get used to one idea of it, it changes again.
It's the best metaphor.
It feels a lot like someone saw his movie Following and went, I bet you can't do that again. And
he saw his movie Following and was like, how can I? Because Following...
Like, let's do this, but let's do this one step too far.
Like when I'm watching it, I remember watching Memento and I was thinking, like, you can see where parts of it that he jumped off from Following and like, I'm going to say improved on, but you know what I mean? Like, that's subjective, I guess.
Yeah. A little bit.
And like, so like Following was generally linear, but it would have these random parts from like the future. And like Tim described it best by saying it flows the way someone would tell a story. And that's how actually the movie is. He's actually telling a story. So sometimes like he'll jump forward for like a little bit and then the story goes back and like explains it out.
This
so
is
it's
not
generally
that.
It's generally linear, but because it still jumps around a little bit, this one takes that idea and goes nuts with it. And there's 2 timelines. There's the black and white timeline is flowing forward, and then so like when you watch it, the scenes in black and white are flowing forward, and the scenes in color are in reverse, but not quite reverse. It's not like completely backwards, like someone hit like not even rewind, but you know what I mean. Like
they're like chunks of the story that have been
leapfrogging.
Yeah.
It's leapfrogging backwards. So like every scene, obviously it flows forward, but then the next time you see a colored scene, it'll jump to the previous scene, the beginning of the previous scene chronologically. Like typically when you watch a movie, you're watching to figure out what happens next, but he wanted it to be like you're watching it to figure out what just happened.
Yes. That definitely happened a lot.
So this like leapfrogging effect as like you go backwards and then you have the black and white scenes going forward. and eventually it meets in the middle. But man, is it disorienting, which is the point. But yeah. So, real quick, I was gonna say it's on HBO Max, but they got us again.
Dude,
Just
I was gonna look it up.
just like the second episode of the last miniseries, HBO Max screwed y'all.
Just
Yeah, right as Tim was about to watch the movie, they dropped it.
I had watched it last week in
Yeah,
anticipation of doing something, and
I
then
watched part of it the
I
other
checked today and it's gone.
yeah,
gone.
I watched part of it the other week, like last week before my internet went out. So my internet goes out. I can't do nothing. I'm like, well, I guess whatever. But when I went right back, I had to log back in, which was a pain because it's technically not our HBO Max. But I get in it and I was just like, it's just not there. It was just what didn't exist. I was like, what the hell?
Just like Grand Budapest Hotel with Ren, with the Wes Anderson.
Man, Tiff, you should probably just start playing the lotto at this point, man.
Look,
The second
If it
time you
hap-
picked the movie and right before they cut it out.
look, if it happens on the next miniseries, whatever that is, Tim, you know what's going on. We're in a simulation.
Yep.
So I will say that you should just pick the next movie based on the very loose association we have to the Matrix again.
Oh,
So-
I see what you're doing there. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But yeah, so this is goofy. But to reiterate, the Christopher Nolan miniseries we're doing, it's his movies more grounded in realism, as opposed to like his high sci-fi stuff that
Mhm.
he's also known for. And it's perfect because his first one was Following, which is noir. This one is also a noir. It's just
Absolutely.
yeah, he just plays with the structure. And next we'll be doing Dunkirk. But anyway, back to Memento, written and directed by Christopher Nolan. He got the idea from a short story his brother wrote called Memento Mori. Actors Guy Pearce, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Joe Pantoliano, which going back to the Matrix conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a year after the Matrix too. So I wonder if Joe can't even say his name. Pantoliano is, how do I say, is annoying in real life, because I'd feel bad for Carrie-Anne Moss.
Ooh.
Oh no,
Like-
I thought he laid the foundation for rat fucks everywhere. Like he was a pioneer in the turncoat rat fuck genre. You know what I mean? He laid the
Yeah.
stepping stones.
That's true. Like he's iconic as that archetype, but he also, I've seen him not play it. This is, I mean, it's a similar kind of archetype, but he wasn't the villain. He was the like police sergeant or whatever in the Bad Boys movies, and
He was all right.
he
was-
wasn't a bad guy. He was just like
He wasn't
the
a good
asshole
guy
sar-
though, right?
Yeah.
He was just an asshole sergeant. Like, well, God damn it, why are you guys blowing up half the city?
That's the
We just-
Wusa scene.
Yeah, no.
Okay, no.
Well, no, they kind of went back and Wusa was in 2, and that was Will Smith, and then in the third one, I think they referenced the joke because he was trying to calm down, something like that. No, you're right. He's the one who taught Will Smith the Wusa. Never
That's
mind.
what I thought.
You're
Okay.
right. You're right. Yeah, because he
Hey.
was trying to work on his anger, and he taught Will Smith the Wu. Anyway, okay, you're right. You're
Still
right.
didn't
You're right.
work.
Gotta get him, Bill Burr, and Joe Pesci in a movie where they just yell at each
Oh
other
my
about being
God.
rat
Oh.
fucks. You
Just
rat,
that hot-
you rat fuck. No, you rat fuck. No, you rat fuck. You rat fuck. It just keeps go. It's just a whole movie of that.
Can you just
Oh
throw
my
Paul
God.
Giamatti in there for like good luck?
Paul Giamatti, just can you just keep going? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! And it's just like, what is this movie?
It's like I'm not
That
drinking Merlot.
That would that would break the timeline.
It's the rat fuck multiverse.
Now I want to watch their movies and do an edit of them yelling at each other.
Do
'cause
it.
Yes,
No, we can't actually get them all in the same room.
just find similar enough scenes and just have them yelling at a person. It's just like, what in the world?
Memento Mori is Latin for remember that you have to die.
Oh, okay. But the release, it came out at film festivals, and I think it had a theatrical run too. Budget, I couldn't get an exact number, but it was between 5 and 9 million, and domestically it made 25 and a half, and international 14 and a half, total of 40 million. So
You mean they
once
didn't
again,
film that thing with a toaster? Like, it did not seem like it needed that much money to go into
it was
it.
probably the actors or the.
I guess
I
it
mean,
must have
was
been.
how
Probably
popping
the
was guys?
Jaguar.
Maybe that. Maybe it was the actors because they would have filmed it before Matrix
Mm-hmm.
came out.
Hmm.
So I don't think Carrie Ann Moss and Joe Pantoliano would have gotten that extra Matrix boost. Does that make sense? I don't remember how poppin'
Yes,
Guy
yeah.
Pearce was back then either.
I don't
Yeah,
either.
that's.
I couldn't even
I
remember
don't
who's in it.
know. I don't know.
I didn't
Maybe.
tattoo it on myself, so
I genuinely this I know I say this all the time. This is one of those movies that was like, hey, let's watch this movie, and I saw some of it, and I got interrupted, and then I didn't see it for 20 years. So I knew where things were going, and I knew what the general premise of the movie was.
yeah.
But even knowing the general outline and possibly little spoilery things, I was still on a ride the whole time.
Yeah.
Look, I haven't seen it since I don't know when, but it was definitely before I started tracking my movies, which is
Mm-hmm.
2009. Yeah.
Yep. At
Um
least 20 years. Ditto.
so I didn't remember exactly what happened. I just knew that spoiler warning, we're going to spoil the movie when we get into
But can we really?
it.
Because technically the movie told you the ending at the beginning.
And
Like,
we
there's no
and we
spoiling it.
and we can tell you anything we want. It will still not spoil the what in the world experience.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's a you know how some movies are described as mood pieces. This is an experience piece.
Yeah.
There's
The,
definitely a word for that I can't remember.
the experience is confusion.
Yeah. Uh, Ren, did you see this before, and did you remember this when you watched it this time?
So when
Because it
yeah,
was so long for me that it was like it was fresh.
I remembered. So I watched this like 20 years ago when I worked in a Blockbuster because I would
Yeah,
just pick a thing and go try it out. Um, I remember this as being guys looking for somebody who killed his wife,
yeah,
and he was not a detective. That was the biggest part because he was
mm,
afraid of cops, and then also that he had short-term memory loss, so he
Mhm.
always had to have a note because it's just dude with tattoos
yeah.
and killing a person. But uh, rewatching it, I did not remember enough to say like, oh, this is the progression of his illness. Somehow, it states that he cannot make new memories, but the fact is that he's created a narrative to allow him to keep pushing because he's constantly talking about this dude he had to investigate because of a similar condition.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, that guy never existed. So it says, oh no, we can't have somebody who can't form new memories, but he managed to create an entire idea of another person to justify how he acts. And even then, he says that the person he's referring to never had a system, and that's why he let that condition overtake his life. But the problem is that that guy is a self insert.
Mm-hmm.
He still doesn't have a system. And if you
Yeah.
look, he's got tattoos in different places. Everything is like a huge mess, but he likens it to being organized and efficient, which is why he is his own worst enemy in this case.
It goes back to my Groundhog Day
Oh, every day, yeah,
reference because the guy he made up for his little flashbacks was in Groundhog's Day.
yeah. Oh god damn. Right, that's
I
how we pick our next movie. It's like, oh wait, that guy was in Groundhog's Day. It's kind of similar theme wise, yeah,
And then we leapfrog to that one.
yeah. Sorry.
Tim, no, you.
good.
I forgot. It's gonna be the running joke. Before we go on, I was going to give a shout out to you and Mauricio saying happy birthday, but it's funny that now you're on the podcast. It's
Shout out.
shout
Oh
out
wait.
Ren, happy
Oh,
birthday.
my birthday. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm 37, and the memory is the first thing to go. Thankfully, I know a guy who has a system of remembering things.
There you go. Oh yeah, I forgot. Rotten Tomatoes 93, critics audience 94.
That's pretty good.
That's interesting to me because I thought the audience would be lower because it has to be like the holy shit at the end.
I I think that there's a lot of really cool things that this movie does that not a
Yeah.
lot of filmmakers wanted to do back then, and then bet on whether or not it was going to make money back, which is partly what's really annoying about watching movies
I mean,
now, is that this
that's.
movie felt like it was a stab at a different idea
I
of
wonder if it's
telling.
because it pre-exists Rotten Tomatoes, so
Maybe.
the audience that goes and rates it are
Aren't a bunch of toxic assholes.
no, not even
Yeah.
that, but like what am I trying to say? Like,
It's a film you have to want to go see. So
yeah,
it's a,
yeah,
people who are interested in this kind of thing are going in and rating it.
yeah. Like if it came out today, I feel like that number would be lower because you'd get the what the fuck
Interesting.
peoples. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not selling itself to like a specific niche that would already be inclined to watch
yeah.
kind of detective noir story.
I'd hate to see the TikToks that would come from this being a current movie. It'd just be like, just guys, I don't think you're making the joke that you're thinking you're making. Just let it go. Like all the Oppenheimer Barbie stuff. It's like, guys,
That's okay.
slow
That's a
down,
little funny. That's pretty good.
slow down, folks. Yeah, okay, they're just coming out at the same time. You don't have to conflate them. What are you doing?
No,
It's
sorry.
I think it's like a third level meme now, like where it started out as like, haha, that's funny, they're coming out at the same time. And then people started making the jokes about it like within like the film community. And now it's spilling over and it's now it's doubling over on itself and it's like, oh, what's going on?
all the t-shirts came out where it's like a big mushroom cloud and it just says Barbie.
I do
Well,
want one of those.
like, folks.
I literally just changed my Facebook cover to half Barbie, half Oppenheimer.
Oh, right, the cowboy thing. Holy moly.
I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. When I saw the pink mushroom cloud, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
There's got to be at least one person from
that's
each
the line.
advertising team that contacted each other and were like, "Did you do this? I have nothing to do with this. This is not a thing we did." Okay, I just thought I would call you and see. You sure you didn't?
They gotta
I
be
would
just
not have
sitting
thought of
back
this.
watching this, like, wow, we ain't have shit to do with this and this. And now that it's spilling over past like cinephiles or whatever, like now they're just like, oh, we about to make money.
There are people who are literally like showing that they bought tickets to both and they're gonna go the same night, and I'm like,
Tom Cruise did it.
moly. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Which is, I think he did that as a publicity, like, not stunt, but like he was getting heat because he got mad that Oppenheimer was going to like knock Mission Impossible out the theaters.
He got
so he
now he's got to like humility jokes.
Yeah.
He's got to do a video of himself like coming out of Barbie, like that was pretty good, but then he just start sprinting to Oppenheimer because he just loves running. If he's in a movie, he's running. He's
look, if he really about it, that's what he'd do, and then they'd play the Mission Impossible theme over him running through the movie theater full speed.
But like contextually, you remove that music, and it just looks like some 10-year-old running through a theater. You're like, God damn it, whose kid is that running a fucking theater? You bastard.
That's what they could do for us. Like it shows him running with the theme, and then it cuts to somebody like the manager or whoever, and the theme isn't playing, and he's just like,
"Oh, okay,
whose 10-year-old is this?
What's with the kid with the lifts in the shoes? What's that kid doing?
He's got like moon bouncers."
It's wild to me. It's wild to me that Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel wear the same shoes.
No,
I caught Robert Downey Jr. in those. I feel like if I ever get pictures with any of them, I just want to like purposely like put my picture up and just put I'm 5'6". Like, there
put
you
your
go.
arm around his shoulder, be like, "Hey."
There was a lost picture my family had of me. He was in. I just brought this up. I brought this up on one of the podcasts already.
That's okay.
The movie Billy Bathgate was filmed in my hometown.
Never
and what's his name? He was in Rain Man with Tom Cruise. Uh,
Dustin Hoffman. I was about to
Dustin
say
Hoffman.
Justin Doffman.
There was a Justin Hoffman.
No, it's
Hoffman-
evil Dustin Hoffman.
It's Hoffman and me and some kids, and I'm like not far off from his height. I was maybe 14. I could have my age wrong, but I was not far off from his height, and I'm not big. So the next time I saw Rain Man, I just kept going, Tom Cruise is little. Wait a minute,
He's a little
that
guy.
means he's little. Because
Little
they're almost
fella.
the same height. Because there's several scenes where it's just them walking around. He's like, come on, Raymond. It's just there. And it's just like, he's not a big man. That's when it hit me. And then I had to go back and watch movies and I'll be like, man, they're trying too hard. That's ridiculous. Like he's got to be tiny because Cuba Gooding Jr. is towering over him.
He also is in. Yeah, he's not tall either.
I thought he was a little dude too, but
That's
he's
funny.
not that tall, and he's like,
Man, you shorter than Snow Dogs. Anyway,
Snow Dogs is the next movie.
he got his own problems right now. Anyway, we ain't gonna touch that.
No, back out.
no,
yeah. Pull up.
You did give you gave a spoiler warning.
Yeah,
I think we're in and out of like trying to describe it. It's such a really hard story to describe.
So,
I'm wondering how you're
I'm
going
sorry.
to
I feel like I
this
gave
work.
too much away at the beginning, but I was like, I can't.
I mean,
really
but you
explain it.
You gave
without...
it after the spoiler warning, so all bets are off.
I was wondering because there's always video essays about movies, and then there's those brief synopses of this movie in 10 minutes, and I'm like, how would you not sound schizophrenic describing this?
Yeah, I feel like you need to actually
So,
lead with the spoiler on explaining.
I'm so glad you said that, because when I write up the templates, I usually just go beat for beat because that's the way I like to do it, and I make sure that we talk about everything so we don't forget things, because otherwise we'll just be all over the place. And like sometimes, it sparks more conversation. Also, it's like, okay, so if you're the type of person who just likes to listen to us and not watch movies, which
doesn't
is
exist.
a thing, it's weird, but I think there's a couple people who just like hearing us talk. I mean, not Singapore.
Can you imagine this podcast though being the very first introduction you have to the movie Memento?
Oh, they're confused as shit.
Like for real, if you have not seen Memento,
they're going to turn this podcast off and go watch The Cell.
Watch The Cell.
It's like, that's what I took from that. The Cell was a really good movie.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio also. He's so good in The Cell. He says he's like, you embarrassed me in front of Vanessa. He didn't do that in The Cell, but
He didn't smash someone's guy's head in the car door. Anyway, that's Daredevil if you don't get that reference. Anyway,
the first Daredevil?
No, that's the
show.
Netflix Daredevil.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
The first Charlie Cox Daredevil, since they're rebooting it for Disney Plus.
Oh yeah.
But the second live action one, first is Ben Affleck speaking to Jennifer
Benny.
Lopez. Anyway,
Jennifer Lopez. We're doing it again.
Look, one of my favorite games I used to play with one of my movie buddies before, like, I met like Ren and y'all on the internet, was 6 Degrees of Separation, and we used to see who can we throw out 2 actors and see who can if we can stomp the other person and like connecting them.
I like the Kevin Bacon thing. I am a degree.
You're 1 degree from Kevin
I'm
Bacon?
One.
Does that mean you know him, or you know?
There's one person in between me and him because she was in a movie with him here in town.
Okay.
I was just
but when I take her out, I'm fighting Kevin Bacon.
I told her, I was like, is he still in town? She's like, we could hook this up. You could be no degrees. And I was like, oh, but yeah, 1.
Okay.
My wife's brother apparently has like knowledge or experience dealing with his son, to the best of my knowledge.
Good God.
Junior Bacon.
Yeah. Mini Bacon.
Okay, gotcha.
Baby Bacon.
All right. Okay. So how do we actually feel about the movie Memento?
I
In case you forgot what movie we're watching.
I like the movie a lot. I think one of the weirdest things is you can look at this movie as a really dark comedy to some degree.
Oh,
Because there
absolutely.
are literally times when he like addresses something in this tone that makes it feel like he is not being serious at all.
Yeah, when he says, "Who am I chasing?" Oh no, he's chasing me.
No,
I cried.
I stopped. I stopped the movie. I knew I had to get up and get a drink, but as when he just goes, huh, what's going on here? Oh, I guess I'm chasing that guy. And the guy shoots at him. Oh, he's chasing
He's
me.
chasing me.
I was just like, like what? How long is the memory span? Because it feels like it's 8 solid minutes.
It's practically Goldfish at times because it's like
Yeah.
3 seconds
Man.
almost.
The bit where she like steps back outside after telling him something,
Yeah.
And she was
and
just waiting.
I was
Like,
like,
she's just in the car counting.
I was like, what the heck is that? That's so rude. Like,
Okay,
that's
so
not even right.
maybe the best way to cover this, so you're not covering each individual scene, is
Oh no,
covering
no, no.
what we see as the viewer in chunks. So it's like
Oh yeah,
first, second,
that's what
third.
I did. I was that's one of the things I forgot. Was I was gonna say I usually when I build out the templates, I usually go beat by beat, but I was like, this shit is too fucking all over the place to do
Yeah, it's
that.
too hard.
So I actually I didn't take it verbatim, but I leaned heavily on the Wikipedia synopsis for this one because, bruh, like that was rough. That's another reason why we'll get through this film one faster because I wasn't about to
Yeah.
leapfrog. I thought about it, and I think I got to the second color scene and said, "Fuck this." It wasn't like 4 minutes into the movie. I was like, "Ain't no way." Ain't no way.
And the third layer of the dream, and I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, no. Oh man, Ren, did you like it or did you? I've been trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I liked it well enough. I would suggest it to few people that actually
Mhm.
pay attention to movies when they watch them. If I
Yeah,
try to have my wife watch this,
that's a good point.
just
You
her attention for movies sometimes is worse than mine. So like with this, that requires you to pay attention to exactly what's happened scene to scene. Because I'd watch a scene, pause it, go do something, come back, unpause it, so I could kind of try to replay it in my head a little bit. But it does require a very active watching. It's not a background
yeah.
movie.
Yeah. I had it rated as a 10 from the first time I watched it. So
Mhm.
that means back in the day I put it on IMDb as a 10. Rewatching it, I think I'm gonna lower it from a 10, but it was definitely, but I don't know if that's fair because my 10 means life changing. And at the time, I had never seen anything like this that played with
Yeah.
structure the way it does.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
It has diminishing returns on rewatch though, because it just like once you, even if I, like I said, I forgot a lot of what happened, but I still had the general idea of like, oh yeah, Joe Pantoliano isn't the killer.
Yeah.
uh like I knew that, and I knew that he forgot that he did some shit. I didn't remember like how the role Carrie Washington Carrie Ann Moss
Mm-hmm.
played, but I remember the general like Joe Pantoliano isn't the killer, and he forgot that he had done some shit already. With that in mind, it it was just disorienting without the full payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I still recognize that like if you saw this for the first time and you actually paid attention, like your socks might be blown off because like, oh shit, like, or maybe not because it's from 2000. People probably referenced it or recreated it enough that it might not hit the way. That's why I was asking y'all like when, if you've seen it before, when did you see it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if someone watched it today fresh, knowing nothing, if they would still be impressed.
Personally, I still think it's totally like worth rewatching, but I do understand that some movies are just meant to be watched once.
Yeah, this is one
Uh,
of those.
Me and Antichrist, I'm never gonna watch that again. Did I think it was like incredibly well done from a lot of different? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking insane. But I'm never gonna watch that again. That's kind of for
yeah.
different reasons. But really, yeah, I would still suggest it to people now, even if they're interested in something that's a little different. But I don't know a ton of active movie watchers. Like, I don't go to films anymore. Really, I don't watch stuff on the big TV because I got a
Kids.
bunch of kids around to bear in mind. So it's very like in my own space. My own cinematic apparatus is like with headphones, which is outside of what the directors probably prefer. I get it,
Mm.
but with this, I don't know if
Especially Nolan.
yeah, I don't know if giving this like a out of 10 rating is I'd be like a green light, red light. Do I think you
Yeah.
should watch this? If you're an active movie watcher, I would say to watch this movie. It's really neat, but it's difficult for me to say like, oh, that was only like an 8 as far as this experiment of a movie. It feels like.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to make a drinking game, I would say no. Don't do it.
I was so how about you, Tim? Do you think this is good on rewatches?
I could probably watch this again, but I honestly think it's tenuous because there is a degree to which you know what's happening after the second watch.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, for me, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I knew enough to know the impact wasn't going to be as much, and it wasn't.
Mm.
But now but I still recognize that it was still damn near genius on first watch.
It's a pretty good experience.
Mhm.
I would recommend it. I think it is worth rewatching. And honestly, to some degree, I'm kind of surprised I just hadn't seen it more times.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, let's go through it. It's not going to take too long because it ain't about. Look, we not leapfrogging with them, man.
I looked at your notes and I was like, aha.
Yeah, they're not going to know what we mean by this, but it's like, oh, 6, just a 6. Okay, so film starts out with the sequence in reverse, a Polaroid photograph of a dead man slowly reverting to its fresh, undeveloped state, then eventually going back into the camera, and the guy that took the
Oh.
picture shoots the guy in the head.
It took me a moment on that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. I was not making that connection with
I thought
the
it was
photos developing backwards.
I thought it was pretty neat.
I was like, that's not how you load those cameras.
Wait,
You must feed the camera.
Once again, like I don't want to jump ahead to our future second Nolan miniseries when we do his sci-fi movies, but there's a lot of stuff that happens in Memento where I'm like, I bet you this is where he got the idea for this other movie from, including Tenet. Like, I feel like he rewatches his movies and is like, hey, what if I explore this specific thing? And then he builds off from that. So I bet you he watched the opening scene of this and was like, hold up, time flowing in reverse, not time travel. Anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, from this point, the movie alternates between black and white scenes, which is moving forward through the timeline from the start, and color scenes, which comes backwards from the end of the timeline where Joe Pantoliano gets shot. So next, the black and white scenes begin. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself and my notes how I differentiate between black and white and color. The black and white sequences begin with like Leonard Shelby, a former insurance investigator, in a motel room speaking to an unseen and unknown caller. Leonard has, I'm sorry if I butchered this, anterograde amnesia.
That's probably
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and is unable to store recent memories, the result of an attack by 2 men. Leonard explains
allegedly unable.
Allegedly sprinkled allegedly.
Yeah.
Leonard explains
Air quotes.
that he killed the attacker who raped and strangled his wife Catherine. Who half the movie I was like, who's this? She looks familiar. Then I remember that she's a CSI. She's from CSI, the original CSI.
There you go.
Yeah, because she looks like 2 other people to me, and they all kind of blended together. Like I knew it wasn't what's her name, Anna Paquin, Rogue from X-Men. I knew it wasn't her.
Yeah.
But
it's not Julia Stiles.
Yeah,
not
that
Julia
that's the 2 people, Anna Paquin and Julia
Yep.
Stiles. And it
just
makes her,
them two. Okay.
yeah,
Weird.
So-
10 things I hate about Leonard.
Yeah, what?
I don't know why that caught me off guard.
First things first, he's not Heath Ledger, so that's where we're gonna guess him.
Weird. Okay, so his wife Catherine, but the second attacker clubbed him and escaped. The police didn't accept that there was a second attacker, but Leonard believes the attacker's name is John G. or James G. And Leonard,
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
and Leonard investigates using notes, Polaroid photos, and tattoos to keep track of information he discovers because he can't remember shit. And Leonard, I don't know if I said, obviously Leonard's played by Guy Pearce. Leonard recalls Sammy Jenkins. I keep saying Sammy
Yeah.
Jenkins because Jenkins doesn't make sense to me, but Jenkins
Absolutely not.
does.
Leroy
It's
Jenkins.
a little too jank.
Right? So Sammy Jenkins, another interrogate amnesiac from his insurance industry days, and after tests confirmed Sammy's inability to learn tasks through repetition, Leonard believed that his condition was at best psychological and perhaps fake. And he turned down his insurance claim because it's like, nah. Because anyway, that's his job anyway as an insurance dude, right?
Yeah, just to
So,
say no to everything.
yeah. Which, that's another layer of like, is Leonard a bad guy? You can explore. Anyway, I think they kind of touched on it in the movie, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Sammy's distraught wife repeatedly asked Sammy to administer her insulin shots to her for her diabetes, right? And hoping he would remember having recently given her a shot and avoid giving her a fatal overdose, except he did and he killed her. So like that's the story he was telling on the phone to whoever in the
To
black
the
and white
cop.
scenes.
To the
Oh
cop,
yeah,
I believe, right?
oh, yeah it is a cop. Wait, isn't it
Eventually, I think you find out it's the cop.
you
Yeah.
find out it's yeah,
Teddy.
because he would call him to get him to open the door
Mm-hmm.
when he needed to talk to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't open the door. Yeah, that's right. So in the color sequences, in the story's chronology, like Leonard self-direct or directively gets a tattoo of John G's license plate, and like finding a note on his clothes, he meets Natalie, a bartender who resents Leonard because he wears the clothes and drives the car of her dead boyfriend, or not dead. I don't know if she knows he's dead, but of her
Yeah.
boyfriend. So she basically she goes outside the bar, and then Leonard pulls up in her boyfriend's car in his clothes, and she's just like, "Por qué?" Like,
Yeah, that part isn't really touched on until like the middle of the movie, though.
yeah,
So up
yeah,
in the beginning of the movie, you see her as somebody who is sympathetic to what his needs are.
yeah,
But then you realize once they play the same scene or a similar scene within a certain context of what built up to that,
yeah.
you realize, oh my God, he
He,
fucked up real
he
hard.
fucked up bad.
She is getting hers in
Mhm.
because she knows that she can manipulate him as somebody who has the memory of a goldfish.
Yep. So like, and like we eventually,
And
well,
he
I guess,
kind of deserved it. He kind of brought
I
it upon
mean,
himself. So
yeah, yeah,
there's no
yeah,
innocent people in this.
yeah. Nobody is now. Do you think about it?
Yeah.
Except for Sammy Jenkins' wife, who
I mean,
because
Leonard's wife.
she doesn't exist. Yeah,
One of 'em.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
The hotel guy, the beer spitting guy, everybody's bad.
Everybody's
Everybody's bad.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I mean that's also kind of in the genre, right?
Yep.
Like you don't
Of
get a
noir.
yeah.
And nobody good except kids and dogs.
Even then, they're selling drugs. You ever had dog weed before? It's the worst.
There's a lot of stems and sticks in this.
Yeah, it's all sticks. It's all sticks. These dogs, all they do is deal sticks.
I gotta throw this to get high. That seems weird.
Meanwhile, dog's like, yeah, just do it. It's fine.
I'll get it.
I see what you did there.
They are funny. So after understanding Leonard's condition, which she does with the spit thing, oh man, that's gross.
Yeah.
She uses it to get Leonard to drive a man named Dodd out of town and offers to run the license plate as a favor through the DMV's vehicle database. Right, the license plate she thinks is or Leonard thinks is John or James G or whatever. So meanwhile, Leonard meets with a contact, Teddy, who we know he shoots, who helps with Dodd. I guess Dodd was. Did they explain who Dodd was? It was just an enemy of Carrie Ann Moss, right?
I believe that he was supposed to be part of a drug deal,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
when she didn't have the money, because the money was later covered that Leonard, I believe,
Mm.
had the money from the drug
Yeah.
deal. It went wrong.
Yes.
Mm.
So Leonard fucks up a drug deal. Leonard, I believe, kills her boyfriend,
Yeah.
takes his car, takes
Yeah.
his suit, because the
Yeah.
entire time you're like, oh, he's just like an insurance claims adjuster. He researches stuff and then denies people claims, like any good red-blooded American. But instead, he has fucked up a drug deal so hard and gotten not only the person who had the money, but the person who was going to have the drugs and the person who was the girlfriend of the dealer.
Everybody's in trouble.
He turned
Yeah.
everyone against him.
That is wild when you really sit there and like put it in perspective.
It is a huge pain in the ass to try to watch, man. I had to like pause a scene, think
Hold
about
up.
everything that worked, pause a scene, and like, okay, I think I got this down.
What you're saying is we need a commando palate cleanser.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Make a Memento game like on the same platform as like Monkey Island.
Yeah,
you just never make it through the game.
Yeah, so the new drinking game is every time you say "huh" during watching Memento, you take a shot.
Oh man.
And if you think you know what's going on by the end of the movie, you finish the bottle.
But yeah, so Teddy, Joe Pantoliano, he warns Leonard not to trust Natalie, Carrie Ann Moss. And like Leonard finds that he had previously annotated on his Polaroid of Teddy that he warned himself not to trust Teddy. Uh-oh. And that's how he gets shot. So Natalie provides Leonard with a driver's license for John Edward Gamble, which is Teddy's full name. Confirming Leonard's information on John G and his warnings, right?
Okay, I did have one question though. They had established that Teddy's character, or John or Joe G, whatever the fuck, it was a rat. He established that he was a bad cop, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So does his past dealings involve the drug dealer's girlfriend, et cetera, turning him into a target of that, and that's why she was producing his name as somebody not to trust?
I think what happened was he found out through being a cop or whatever about this drug deal, and he was using Leonard to go mess it up so they can steal the money. And Carrie Ann Moss
Yes.
somehow put together that Leonard really does have this special amnesia and the cop is manipulating him. So she manipulated Leonard to kill him because she knows that he's the real bad guy behind her boyfriend disappearing and the drug deal blowing up.
That would make more sense because I couldn't think of a single reason why Teddy would stick around to help Leonard. Like,
oh, because he's been using him for a year.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like. So
we don't know how many times this cycle has happened.
We also don't know how many people he's killed on his behalf.
Yeah,
because it sounds like he's just got to tell somebody that that's that guy. That's John B. Go after him. They don't know.
You said John B. No, not honorary black man John B.
Be like,
they don't
John
know.
I need you to go after John B. Are you still down?
There's like 3 people that's going to get this joke.
Leonard, cool, relax.
If you don't know, John B is one of those R&B singers that's actually a white guy, but like people, like black people, just like, ain't no way that dude white.
Yeah,
nah.
Look how
you know what picture.
His hair's not straight. It's just cut short.
They'll have a picture, and they're just and he has the shortcut and like the goatee, and they're just like, nah, that's just a light skinned dude. Nah.
Maybe he mixed. Y'all don't know.
Nah, y'all don't know.
That's true.
Nah, he got a white daddy, like, because his, in the 90s, like his songs were so good, and they just knew he was a black man. This might be my favorite episode because it's impossible to go through this movie, so
it's just too hard to talk about. Let's forget about it.
But Ren's right. Ren's right. She manipulated enough to get what she wanted out of the situation, which is probably just saving her own ass.
Hey,
She may
you know
never see
what?
her. She may never see her boyfriend again.
Yeah,
But
because we never see her actually like mourn him. She's just like, oh well, he must have killed him. It was only a matter of time. But
mhm.
you know,
Like
I'm gonna get my
she knows the game he's playing.
yeah.
He could end up dead. Like no problem. Like that's why she seemed kind of like, oh, he's got the car and the clothes. Interesting. Well,
Yeah, you get to see the just like kind of the color drain out of her face
mhm.
when
Yeah.
this dude pulls up, and she's like, look at the car. He's like, oh hey, it's Jimmy. Hey Jimmy,
Mhm.
how are you? It's like, holy fuck, who the shit is driving Jimmy's car? Got Jimmy's cash? He doesn't even know. He's
Mhm.
playing off like he's on a sitcom.
So here's the thing. I don't remember exactly. Oh no, he tells her because he tells everybody
Yeah,
his
that's a
that he
good
has a
idea.
condition. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, I have this condition where I forget things. And so she's like watching this dude who pulled up in her boyfriend's car, has his clothes, and he's telling her that he don't remember shit. So she's like, yeah, whatever. We about
Yeah.
to test this theory. And
I think it's it's interesting that his big shtick was this kind of, was it antigrade or something, the
Mhm.
amnesia that he
yeah,
had.
yeah,
He would constantly say, I have a different type. It's like,
yeah.
you learned you had it after you got it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
Like, if it was anything like the story that he'd tell himself, he
Yeah.
wouldn't remember shit. He would stay in his house. He'd be constantly reliving the moments before his wife died.
Yeah.
Yo, plot hole. Goddamn.
He's got enough memory to
Mhm.
start building things, but he's tied up in this whole thing trying to avoid thinking about his wife dying. So he has to get revenge, quote
So
unquote.
okay, shit, you just unlocked a whole new layer of this. Hold on. So is it a plot hole? It's not a plot hole, or is it just that the like the starting point is just a little after? It's not actually the point of impact on his head. The starting point is like I don't know
I
in recovery or whatever, and in recovery is when he couldn't make memories. Or are you implying that it's not a plot hole? It's not the case where the actual like reset point is after he learns what he has, and it's implying that he's just a fraud in general, just going around doing wild
Just
shit.
to some degree, I think it has that is in there. I think he did get hurt. He has memory deficits. He
Mhm.
has a problem,
Yeah.
but I think he's overcome it or has found enough
Okay,
building to know he shouldn't be doing
he
any of
shouldn't be
this
doing
stuff,
it,
but
but
he's in trauma.
so he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna repeat the cycle.
Well, they do mention that the reason why they weren't going to pursue the claim, or what I mean, they're going to dismiss the claims with the insurance, was that they couldn't tell if it was like a biological response or a psychological response. So if
Mhm.
this was in fact his psychological response, and he's able to build not only his own narratives but also block out
Ah,
the
Mhm.
things that he's done, then
Yeah.
he could just get this perpetual
so it's
thrill
literal.
seeking, and he gets
Yeah.
feedback on it too. So
So it's not even like it's like you said, it's not physical,
Mhm.
which is what they're trying to prove with Sammy Jenkins.
yeah, the
It's
story that
not.
he made up for himself.
So there is no plot hole, and that's the crux. Is oh
Yeah.
wait,
So is it a good movie?
yes.
Yes.
All right.
It's not even why I'm here.
He's like, my job here is done.
I can scratch out that defend Memento tattoo I have. Finally. Then we're gonna forget about it. And we're gonna hey, you guys ever see Memento?
Mm. Oh man.
You just it's just on your wrist. Defend Memento.
So you know what?
Go ahead and cut that off now.
To hell with this template. Uh, so Carrie Ann Moss figures out he doesn't have, or he has memory issues, and he's not like bullshitting, because doesn't she get everybody to spit into his beer in the bar, or is it just
She,
her?
Just the one
it's
creepy
three.
dude.
It's
Nope,
three
he
dudes.
does it.
It's her,
Yeah,
the creepy dude, and then he also gets Leonard
Yeah.
spit his
he
own
spit his
beer.
own drink, and then waits a bit, waits for him to forget, and then he drinks the beer. Okay, so it's like, oh, he's
It's like,
legit.
oh, that one's dusty. I was like, nice
Yeah, right.
excuse. Nice
To watch
excuse.
he knows. Just like, oh, I would have paid you extra for that, and just like
Wait,
slide that
Carrie
over
Ann
here.
Moss spitting that? Because
Hold up, Trinity?
It's like, yeah, but a
Trinity?
totally random stranger also spitting it. It's like, it's fine. It's Trinity. I'm not gonna pass that.
Trinity, you gotta charge for that, ma'am.
The whole time he was just like leather suit.
But come on, like you gotta think. Don't put your feet in sandals on the internet. Don't put those pictures up.
Not for free.
Not for free.
Oh shit. And yeah, what else? So the Sammy Jenkins thing was completely made up in Leonard. Like, say he doesn't exist, but that was Leonard convincing himself that this person exists, so it like justifies what he's doing, right?
Correct.
Partly. It's a
partly.
fragment of justifying it, because normal people don't say, "I'm gonna go kill somebody because I've been wronged." You know what I mean?
That's true.
He's almost morally and psychologically detached himself. He like started an engine on a car and then just let it go.
And here's the thing. I used to say I hate unreliable narrator stories.
That's the term. Yeah.
I hate it with a passion. And then I watched some more movies and I realized, you know what? This one did it right and this one didn't right. And what I realized, I hate mysteries with unreliable narrators. Now, I guess this is also a mystery, but they are straight up upfront that he has memory issues. And the structure of the movie disorients you the way he's disoriented. So it works. Now, what I hate is when it's like you're following along you're watching this mystery, and part of a mystery movie is you trying to solve it. Like, that's inherent to the genre. You, as a viewer, it's the structure is like you are with the main character trying to solve this mystery.
Yeah, you're supposed to be beholden to truth.
Yes.
So for them to pull the rug out from under you at the end, being like, "Oh, it's all made up. The points don't matter." Unreliable narrator. It's like, that's not fair. Like, what's the movie that like a lot of film folks love? It's French. High Tension or Hot Tension or whatever.
Oh man, that's a mystery.
Yeah, they well, not quite, but like the whole movie, this killer is chasing this girl, right? And then at the end you find out that she was the killer. But the thing is, along the way you see things happen that there's no way. Like, you even see a scene without her where like he's like it's like a truck and the cabin, you think this like the truck driver's like getting like a blowjob or something, and he just drops like a head out, and he was like, oh, he was giving himself a blowjob with a severed head. Like
it's
they
all
went through
so
the
what?
fucking most to show you that this crazy man is after her, just for the crazy man to not even exist. And it's like, really? Like the whole time was just y'all just fucking with me the whole movie.
There's that reminded me of, there's this game, I think it's called Heavy Rain, or is it Heavy?
Heavy Rain. It's like PlayStation. It's more of a storytelling game, like interactive.
Now I'm getting them confused, because I think Indigo Prophecy is the earliest one by those people, which also had a plot hole that was like, oh, excuse me, what is a rug pull that was like, why did you do that? But I think it's Indigo Prophecy is the one, or Heavy Rain is the one where with the dad, the whole game, it's like you're after a murderer, and there's a detective who's after the murderer, and then the detective is doing all these things to track down the murderer, and at the end of the game, he's the murderer. Why would he search for these things? Why would he go after? Why would he go on these reach? Like, he went to an office and had a gunfight with people trying to get information about this murder, and why would you even do that? You were doing the murders.
And like the logic is, oh, they were crazy the whole time. Like, but it still feels like they cheated.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And like, I know like Scorsese is untouchable, but I did not like Shutter Island. Because, but I'm willing to rewatch it though, because
the payoff wasn't there.
That's what the payoff was weak, and I felt cheated. But they were also like, well, he was in a crazy house the whole time, so like you can argue that like the breadcrumbs were there, and maybe I just missed the breadcrumbs, but it still feels like cheated. So maybe I'll appreciate it on a rewatch. I only watched it once in theaters, but like that was the movie where I actually like learned the term unreliable narrator,
Yes.
and I was like, "Fuck this shit." But I saw some. I can't even remember. I saw one recently. I can't remember what that it worked the way they did it. So if they do it in such a way, and it's not like just straight up just a regular mystery, I feel like I can roll with it. But
And watch Sixth Sense again, dude. If you want to talk about
I've
unreliable
never seen
narrator, and
Sixth
like,
Sense.
shut the fuck up.
Guess why?
Is it gonna be upsetting?
No, it's just no.
Oh.
There's no story behind it. It's just that
Okay.
that's like that is the biggest reveal, like the most like so
Because it
it's
was given away, it was spoiled.
yeah. So like I just never had the urge to watch it because not so much because I already know the ending, but it's more like I know I will never achieve
You'll never get that same hit.
Yeah.
It's
So
lost. It's not the zeitgeist anymore to be surprised
Yeah.
by M. Night Shyamalan movie.
this is
You're gonna come back 25 years after that movie came out. And you're like, hey, did you know that Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time? Mind blowing.
Did you know that Bruce Willis was goats the whole time? He's just like, what? He's like, what?
Yeah, dude, you're just learning this now.
Who was goats? There were 4 goats in a man suit.
Dude, just so you could see, just for your own experience, how well I feel like that was built into the movie. I would recommend it.
Okay, so but that's going off of what I was saying. Like with
Mhm.
Shutter Island, it's possible that if I go back and I watch it, I'll see that the writing was on the wall the whole time and in a really good way, and I was
Mhm.
just mad
Mm.
after the first watch. So if I watch, I could watch Sixth Sense as if I already watched Sixth Sense, but this time I'm looking for the breadcrumbs. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I could fuck with that. Okay,
I don't
If
feel
you
like
got a free Sunday or something, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like it's probably everywhere.
I don't
I-
feel
Anywhere,
like
everywhere.
Shutter
I think it might
Island
be
is
the
baked
only-
in as well as Sixth Sense. And
Oh,
that's part of
that's
I
just
feel-
gonna make me. I was gonna not make me madder, but make me still hate it.
I
That's
feel
my
like
secret. I'm always angry.
Sixth Sense, I feel like sprinkled it in just enough.
Okay,
But I feel like Shutter Island is heavy-handed.
They're hitting you over the head.
Mm-hmm. It's like going back and watching it again. It's like, oh, it's not like the reveals with the other one where you're like, wait a minute.
that's actually how I like
Yeah, the
when I
montage at the end.
when I said it. Maybe if I go back and I watch, or what I say, oh, he was in a crazy house the whole time. How didn't I know? Maybe that like, oh,
If I can find a way to link it back to this movie, it feels like a really good one is when
That you
the
forgot.
director is not holding onto the audience's hand. They're
Yeah.
not saying, "Hey, look, did you hear that? They just called Leonardo DiCaprio by his God-given Christian first name, like he's been here for years. Crazy coincidence, right?"
Yeah. Ooh.
okay.
Whereas with this movie, there is zero handholding. It is pushing you like off the deep end of a pool. You know what I mean? It's sink or swim. You either pay attention to the clues and follow the rest of the plot of the movie so you can understand that Leonard is not necessarily a bad guy, but the way that he's wired the situation, he's become an instrument of people that will use him for bad deeds. You know what I mean? And he's not fine with that, but as long as he's getting that dopamine hit from the revenge, he's
think
he's
one of
having
you
that
said-
constant cycle.
Yeah,
Then he's set. He'll kill anybody.
I think one of you touched on that before. I forgot who said it, but like it's like you said, he's not bad, but his thing is I'm just like I'm gonna recreate this. He's creating his reality so he has like purpose
Yeah.
because he'd rather do that than live with the fact that he killed his wife by accident.
Yeah.
And the other part is that
Massive
he is also
escapism.
kind of he's kind of morally ambiguous. You know what I mean? He's not
Yeah.
a good guy. He's not even necessarily a bad guy, but he is a morally ambiguous guy that's willing to do bad things to get revenge. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily every human being, you know?
Yeah, like he's not gonna go out and like kick a cat, but
No, he did that. He forgot. Someone
He's
told
not-
him that
he's
cat
not
was John
gonna-
G, and he's
I'm
like,
sorry.
"Fuck that cat."
he's not gonna throw a cat out the window.
Don't put it past him.
But shout out Grand Budapest episode. But I got you. Okay. one thing we haven't specified yet, if you aren't already confused or turned the episode off, Leonard killed his wife the same way Sammy Jenkins killed his wife, by giving her an overdose of the medicine because he forgot that he already gave it to her. And then he created these guys strangled her, and created well, now I have to go get revenge, the whole thing in his head, to cope with, not really cope with, but to like replace the fact that he killed his wife, and like, this is how I live my life now, so I don't gotta accept that.
Like the
Right?
attack, the bathroom attack happens.
Mm-hmm.
He does try to foil it.
Oh, but that's
his
right.
His wife is attacked. He is hurt. He probably gets a memory problem from that. But then he screws up.
She recovers.
Yeah, they recover. He's not great. She's recovering. She's not doing well with the fact that he's like a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And she does the storied part with the insulin. She does that. Doesn't cope well with it. She dies. He realizes what he's done because he does have memory, and decides to replace all that.
So that was the physical versus.
Here's a question. Do you think that the psychological response of creating this never-ending loop of forgetting stuff came after the loss of his wife, because he understood at some base level that he killed her?
I think so.
And that's why he set up the narrative.
Now that you've introduced this.
No, that's exactly what I think. I think once he realized he was still building memories and how easy it is to replace them, he just wrote a Post-it note that said, I am actually in a film noir and I like tattoos.
It's the one reminder. He actually tattooed it somewhere really obvious.
It's the harder hit.
It's like, film noir, don't remember. Got it. Okay, good. That's what we're doing today.
Dang, I really didn't catch that.
I will say that it's really funny that you're constantly hearing him talk about Sammy, and I do it better than Sammy. Fuck Sammy, that guy's a bitch. Like, I got all these notes set up. Look at my wall. But then you're like, okay, I like this guy. He's got a file. He's got some Post-it notes. But then you notice that every clue that he's left for himself gets more and more ragged and out of context.
Yep.
When you see how puzzling it is, the way he's tattooed himself.
Oh, I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
And the font changes. Yeah, like that was driving me crazy.
He's done with pen. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you see him doing one.
I've done this. I've done this.
He did a couple
with
of stick
ballpoint pen.
He did a couple stick
needle and some floss, and gave myself a tattoo.
Not official.
Well, not yet. But
oh my god, he has a stick and poke. Is he a crust punk?
I don't ride trains no more. I did pierce my lip twice with safety pins, just cause. And if you've ever done it, you know it sucks. Because
I did the ears.
They're not sharp. They're not sharp. They're not sharp.
Same.
You can poke yourself and bleed, but it's not the same thing as going straight through your skin. So with that said, though, the sheer amount of stuff, he's got Polaroids, he's got Post-its. They're grimy. They're bad handwriting.
He's got the Pepe Sylvia thing on the wall.
Dude, it is so rough, because you see, like, he's talking about himself. He's like, oh, I'm great. I'll never let that happen to me. I won't get confused. But the thing is, Sammy never got confused. He was never even given a window to get confused.
Yeah.
He was like, he was not in a vegetative state, but it was like someone was constantly hitting the reset button on his SNES.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he would just reset. Someone would come by, he would reset. But that was the same condition that it seems like Leonard has almost set up for himself. Because as you see with Trinity, whatever, she comes back, she lights him up with insults, and then she leaves. She sits in her car.
Side note, she gets the acting award for this movie.
Oh my god.
I was mad. I was mad watching that.
But she figured it out and took action.
Like, immediately.
And up to that point, you didn't realize Leonard, to her, is the bad guy.
Absolutely so.
Yeah.
So she's totally justified in what she did.
Like, we don't know for sure that, like, I assumed that she, knowing her boyfriend did what he did, she probably was like, man, there's a level of I could get hurt in this. But I don't think she was completely not attracted or in love with her boyfriend either. You don't really get all that. But just the nerve of this guy to come into her life and kill her and put her in danger. Because that Dodd guy is still real and looking for the money.
Yeah.
It's okay. They got rid of him. At least I think
Yes.
it's okay. They never follow up with it. So
Yeah.
I think
he's just
Dodd.
gone.
I think Dodd was from out of town, and when they
Yep.
gave him an opportunity to jet, he was like, "Down.
All right, you're not going to kill me.
You can
All
erase
right.
my name from your post-it notes."
Oh my god. So yeah, so we're talking about unreliable narrator, and you do
Yeah.
really get to see just that decline in like mental faculties that he seems to have. Like he talks really big shit in the beginning, and then you realize, oh, it's this guy like grasping at like wisps of smoke in a mystery noir movie. You know?
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's also like the moment you can tell that he's like manipulating his own circumstances to try to like forget things. It's like, you're already mixed. You mixed too far into the badness now.
Yeah. It just shows that he's willing to do anything. And part of the issue is that like with a lot of characters in general, even like criminals now, once murder, once exploitation becomes, oh, I'm willing to do this. This is a feasible idea in my head. It's so much easier to kill a guy than to do anything else. Then you're lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now his future answers are just like, who's that dude? I don't know. John G. I saw that on a note. Kill him. It's like,
Booyah.
oh, okay, you're already broken like morally.
Also, it doesn't help that Teddy points out that it's like there's so many John G's, James G's. Shoot, I'm a John G.
Yeah, dude.
Which gets him killed, but like,
Yes.
yeah, it could be anybody.
Bad lead.
Yeah.
I would not have started with that.
I feel
Introduce
like
yourself. Introduce yourself to Leonard. You're like,
Teddy
what's your
didn't
name?
think this
Oh,
out?
John. Oh yeah, John G. It's like, oh,
I feel like
snap.
maybe it's just because I'm not evil, but I'm not a crooked cop, so I wouldn't be doing shit like this anyway.
I don't know. That sounds exactly what a crooked cop would say. Got my eyes on you.
Chill, man, chill. But I wouldn't have taken this risk knowing that I'm a John G. Like,
Dude.
I know that's why he tells him his name is Teddy, but still, like, I wouldn't like he really didn't think he would find out his real name at some point and just be fucked.
Well,
I mean,
he was just as flagrant as Natalie, though, because he just hit a breaking point. He was like tired of his shit. He was just like, I could say all this stupid shit because you're
And
not
you're
even
not
gonna
gonna
fucking remember.
Yep.
But unlike Natalie, he wasn't smart enough to take his pens away.
Man,
oh
look.
man.
Because
Yeah.
during that scene, she gets the idea. She
Yeah.
takes all the pens in the area, shoves them in her bag, and then she goes off.
I will say that once again we have a movie depicted in a time that would have been upended by the application of modern technology because this is 2000s, right?
Mhm.
The movie came out in the 2000s. We already had cell phones. You know
But
what I mean?
we didn't have a
text
way to
messaging.
put videos in the phone, which
We didn't.
He could have just been like videoing himself every day.
Well,
Like,
we have people that do that already, but
Teddy took his video camera.
Where's my cassette tapes? Where's my cassette tapes?
Oh man, I forgot to say back in with the Natalie part. There's a scene when he meets her in the restaurant to get the DMV info, and it's funny because it's going backwards, so you don't know Natalie is fucking with him yet.
Yeah.
But she says something where, in the context of knowing she's fucking with him, you're like, oh, that's why she said it. But I remember it threw me off when I heard it because she goes, "Must be tough living your life according to a couple scraps of paper. You mix your laundry list with your grocery list, and you'll end up eating your underwear for breakfast." And like the look on Leonard's face is like I hadn't thought of that.
How dare you? I would never.
Like he goes to laugh, but then he stops and it's like, wait.
It's like, shit, could that happen? Oh no.
Is that why my breakfast tasted so much like lavender?
Wait a minute. I thought I ate a croissant, but did I eat a skid mark?
Oh.
But that's another like kind of hint. The other one was when Leonard explains to Teddy about how memory isn't reliable. That was a bit more obvious, but
he went
a little on the nose.
Yeah. Just like, I wonder why you would understand that concept so
eyewitness
clearly.
testimony is isn't always right because
colors change, rooms change. Like,
It is kind of funny because when you talk about memory, like all kinds of shit changes. So if you have like a good impression of a memory, you know what I mean, that may change drastically if you experience it with somebody that was like
Yeah.
having a shitty time of that same memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you only get to see the movie as a viewer through
Yeah.
Leonard's like spyglass, basically.
But yeah, damn, that's all I got. So
I
I think we
mean,
went through everything.
I agree with I agree with you. This is the only way that this can be talked about. This is clearly a movie you're gonna have to really sit down and watch it if
Yeah.
you want any of what we said to make sense. We're a notepad now. We're a notepad. We are a tattoo on the wall. Well, skin.
Yeah,
I only have a
I only have a series of Polaroids to explain how this movie works. And they get increasingly dirty with all kinds of
Teddy
different,
Teddy
bodily
Teddy looked
fluids
at
and
Leonard
whatnot.
and he said, "Look at this photograph. It's the guy you killed."
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, I took that picture when you killed the actual John G.
Look how happy you were. You're sick. Well,
Don't get me
you
wrong.
were happy.
He looked really happy.
I love photo documenting evidence as much as any other guy. It still seems like a liability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets right in the truck and burns the most important memory things that there are. And when he threw dude's keys, I mean, we're not even talking about the non-linear movie in a linear fashion anymore. It's fine, but it pieces together really well. I kind of wish I had seen this movie before now. It was pretty good.
It's the best Polaroid Kodak commercial. You know what I mean?
I have to wonder if the people at Kodak were like, is this gonna make us look bad?
Can you put a sticker over that label on the camera? Because just be safe.
I wonder where my
feel a little
Polaroid
weird
is.
about this.
That was my first camera.
I had one of those.
A Polaroid or Kodak?
Polaroid. I was a photographer at one point, and then I started getting involved in conventions, and that.
Oh man,
took it all out for me.
Was that your Canon event?
I guess so.
You could have been a photographer at conventions. You could have been disgusting.
I know, and I wasn't, and I left, and now there's one less good or non-creepy cosplay photographer, right?
I will say this movie was probably the longest ADHD commercial I'd ever watched.
Bruh.
If you or someone you know
has a loved one, does a loved one have difficulty concentrating, distracted by shiny objects, tendency to kill people at random named John G? Well, they might have ADHD.
Oh man! So
I guess I'm chasing this guy. Oh no, he's chasing me.
I love how everybody doesn't give a shit. Everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to chase a guy." He's like, "Oh yeah, crazy. What'd he do?" It's like, "He killed my wife." It's like, "Holy fuck,
dang,
crazy."
Well,
good luck.
Let me get you to do this thing for me.
One distinct thing I want to say before we start dialing it back: I must see the chronological cut of this movie.
Oh yeah,
it exists, and I have to see it.
You could probably just edit that super easy. I feel like
he doesn't even have to edit it. It's out there. I'll find it for you.
I know there were fan edits of Pulp Fiction, but there's like an official one from like the creators of the movie, which is like what?
There was some DVD editions that had like that you can unlock it. Like one was like super cryptic. Yeah, one was super cryptic. Like you have to like do this at this time and certain things, right? And then there was another edition where you had to like solve like trivia or questions, and it would unlock. Yeah.
Okay.
Back when DVDs were fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say that does sound kind of neat. I thought it was gonna be like play the DVD backwards, or I don't know. You got to watch it like 50 times in a row.
He's just like reach into the DVD player like Bruce Wayne in Batman Returns.
Kill John G.
But yeah, what else? The line from Teddy, "You don't have a clue, you freak," got the "you freak" part was actually Christopher Nolan. He redubbed it in post because the way Joe Pantoliano said "you freak," he wasn't satisfied with that, so he did his best Joe Pantoliano impression.
That's funny.
Recorded himself and edited it in. And Joe didn't know until like later on he was doing an interview and somebody asked him about it. And he was like, "What?"
I mean, it's just 2 words, so
Right?
it's not
Yeah.
too. Christopher Nolan dubbed my entire role in that movie. What are you kidding?
Not just that movie. All of Bad Boys. All 3 Bad Boys. Christopher
You just hear
Nolan
some
redubbed
dude.
in your impression.
Woosa. Woosa.
Woo. How do you say woosaw in British? Woosaw in it. That's not
You
sorry.
put extra R's in there.
It's Leviosa.
Woo! I saw it. Woosaw. Okay, let's not alienate our new UK listener. Hey, shout out
All
UK,
the
'cause
Australians, all the Australian. Oh no!
Oh
We
no,
got-
it's
we
the
have
UK's
4
responsibility
Australian.
now.
We
luck.
have 4 Australian listeners, but I don't know if they're going to come back. Oh,
I hope you
we-
watched this movie before because it's definitely ruined now.
No,
sorry.
If you watched the movie before, this will make perfect sense. But if not, you'll be piecing things together like photographs and notes and tattoos.
I think perfect sense might be a little nice.
Okay, yeah.
Explain this.
Vaguely. You'll vaguely understand what's
man.
going on. This is the most chaotic episode, and I'm down with it.
Really?
all the rest of the movies have to be really complicatingly told. Like,
Oh, one more trivia piece. It's still considered an original screenplay because his brother's short story didn't get published until after the movie came out. That's weird how that works, but I mean it makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess. So what was the favorite aspect of the film?
Well, I
You
did
swear
like
we hated this movie.
I did like piecing things together. Like the first time they got in the car and he's like, "Hey, roll your window up. It's hot out here." And it's just like all the window pieces fell out. I was like, "Okay, so I'm going to be sitting around waiting for that to happen."
Yeah.
And every time they got in the car, I was like, "Okay, this is the past cuz the window is there." I caught myself doing that like, "Oh, and their scars." I did the same thing with the
Yeah.
marks on their faces and scars. So I kind of, even before the black and white kicked in fully for me, I was already like looking at his face, looking at Carrie Ann Moss's lip, and looking to see if the window was broken.
Damn.
I was just like, yeah, okay. So this is way earlier because that window's there.
That's the game of the movie,
Mhm.
I guess, when you think about it, right? Like, how did all these little things? You know what never ended up being a thing is his hair. I don't think you see him dye it, right?
no, he's
No,
always
he's very
bleach
much
blonde, right?
He's very much got bleached blonde hair. Somebody had to do that.
And like, hey, I get it. You lost your memory. What the fuck possesses you to bleach your hair like an asshole, though?
Joe Pantoliano.
I
Teddy.
think Teddy had him thinking he was a member of Sugar Ray for a couple of days.
Favorite scene. Wait, did you go? I'm sorry.
With which part?
Aspect of the movie.
I think it's more interesting to watch an entirety and then reflect on. I don't want to say like the
Than
writing
to watch
or
it?
the setup. Well, no, because you need to watch it. You need to experience it
Okay.
to, you know what I mean?
But I mean, like, are you having more fun now than watching?
I think being able to talk about it
Mm.
has helped me kind of connect some dots here.
Okay.
That's
about
Definitely me. Shit.
About figuring out that Leonard is not only like morally dubious, but also was ready to put himself on this track. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So it's really neat. Also knowing that like he's like the first stage in the evolution to like a Guy Fieri. You know what I mean? He's like
Memento
a base level.
2.
Yeah, he's like level 1 Pokemon. You know, he's going to turn into Mark McGrath and then to the lead singer of Smash Mouth, and then he's going to turn into his ultimate form, which is Guy Fieri. So that was my second favorite part of the movie.
I was gonna.
They evolved him with the Flavor Town Stone. He's like, no, I don't want to. It's like, too bad.
Oh man. I forgot what my favorite part is, but my favorite part is the friends we made along the way.
Guy Fieri.
And just all the little jokes like that Tim actually brought it up earlier, like the little moments, oh, I'm chasing this guy. Oh, no, he's chasing me. Little things like that ended up being like way funnier, and it might have been on purpose. I don't know actually know if Christopher Nolan's a funny guy, but I was laughing. I think this is also
I don't see it. I had to think about that too. I'm like looking at the ceiling. It's like, No, I don't think Christopher Nolan is from the
On the
80s.
following episode, I told him that he got the idea from when his house got robbed, and he was like,
Mhm.
"I wonder what they thought about my house." And I was just wondering, like, what did his face look like when he said that? Like, was he being funny or not? I don't know.
You just have to wonder if he was like, in a group of people and they were just like, that's not a thing I would think about. I would think about, are they coming back? Can I get my stuff back? Should I call the police? Why are you thinking about that? I don't know. Just wondering. What did they think of my CDs?
Oh man. But yeah, awards. Any special shout outs you want to give? I already gave my award to Carrie Ann Moss in that scene. She acted her ass off because I thought I was getting
No,
yelled at.
that was fantastic. She would.
I guess I'll also give one to Nolan because nigga, what? Like how he be thinking in 3 dimensions? How you? Yeah, I'm a leapfrog this storyline. Like,
It'd be
like,
funny if it's just
in
a fluke.
reverse.
Everything
Right?
is just a fluke for
They just somebody was.
Jonathan Nolan is just like, he's not as smart as y'all think he is. I'm just not about to blow him up. Shit. That's my idea.
He's
Shit.
just not paying attention. He's just not paying attention when he edits. Like that
man.
happened way before that. Did it?
He's like, yeah, I meant to do
Yeah,
that.
like hours before that. Oh,
It's like, have you seen how he organizes movies? It's all just tattoos.
I'd like to give a shout out to the hotel manager
I like that guy.
because
Oh yeah, he's just straight up.
he's in Fast and the Furious 2. He gets a
he's in Too
rat.
Fast.
Yeah, he's in Too Fast. He gets a rat on his chest.
Oh yeah, they put the bucket on top
Mhm.
of him and they heated it up. And
Yep.
they're like, he only has one way to go, down. Shit.
He's gonna go as far as he can from the heat. There's only one way to go. Also, the hotel manager was one of the only people that had a real moment of honesty with him as well and didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
like, "What do you
yeah.
mean you're charging me for multiple rooms? I mean, you don't have even memory."
Yeah, so I told my boss, and he told
Like,
me,
how
to
you gonna
charge
know?
for 2 rooms, and he's like, "Huh, well, all right."
It's like, yeah, how you even gonna know? It was like, damn, well, makes sense to me.
Maybe that's another testament to that Leonard is a piece of shit because he was like, "Dang, I would do the same thing."
Good job.
Game recognized game.
Or he's like, well, there's no point in fighting it because I'm gonna forget.
He really was like, "Yeah." Ren, you got any?
Not necessarily. Whole movie's kind of fun to watch and talk about. Got to give a shout out to my boy Joel, holding it down for all the rat fucks out there. You know what I mean? Making sure that they have equal representation for bad cops, and double crossers and backstabbers. But hey, don't fuck around with guys that have bad memories and a short fuse.
Yeah.
There you
Lesson learned.
go. All right. And ratings, Ren.
10 out of 10 for somebody who wants to watch a movie and does not mind, film noir, gritty, set in the 90s, small cast. It's not going to go deep and explore how people feel. It's going to be like quick. Everything needs to kind of be taken care of in these 10-minute scenes where we're being told a story, and then you as the viewer gets to kind of rewind it in your head, and then like Tim was saying, take visual cues from each scene and then try to figure out where they fit in the next scene. So
real
yeah,
talk, like
a lot of fun.
When I said let's do a Christopher Nolan miniseries, I was like, I'm not going to dick ride. I'm not going to be the obnoxious fanboy. But like, man, like, not just to think of this, but like to figure it out that each color scene is structured in a certain way for you to start out being like, wait, where are we? And then
Mhm.
it ends so that the next one you have to like go back and it's like, oh, okay. Like, how did this happen? How did this happen? All right, anyway, so I'm sorry.
Oh, and shout out to Nolan for making a movie in a time period when everybody threw Dutch angles in for no good reason and not using it once. Freaking Christ.
Oh man. You know what my Dutch angle movie is? I mean, there's definitely a lot of movies that overdo it, but the what, like you say Dutch angle, and the first thing that comes to mind is the first Thor movie,
Good God.
which is directed by Kenneth Branagh, who's in Dunkirk. So I'm going to be saying Kenneth
Oh,
Branagh a
that's
whole
what
lot
that
on the
is.
next episode. Yeah, like he Dutch angled the fuck out of the first Thor, and I have no idea why. Anyway, keep going. Wait, is it my turn? No, Tim.
Mm.
Tim, you got
It's you guys.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend the movie. Same as Ren said. If you like movies, I won't say it's criminal that I haven't seen it in this, all the way through till now.
Morally
But
dubious.
morally dubious.
It's morally dubious that you haven't seen it all the way
I
until
started the movie. I got interrupted. Maybe I forgot. But
Fair enough.
now that I've come back, it's a fair film, done well, and
You forgot and you didn't have a Polaroid.
all of it works. It's kind of like I don't really do a 10 scale, but I would give this movie like at least a 9, but definitely recommend to people who like if anybody was ever like, oh, I heard it was overrated, I'd say absolutely not. I would not call this movie overrated. It was well done, and the guy's getting work because he did a good job with this. He got to do a Batman.
Yeah. He funny, directly because of this one, Steven Soderbergh tapped him to direct Insomnia with Robin Williams and Al Pacino. That was his third movie, and also his only movie where he didn't write.
As a little addendum, since we're living in a world of like sequels to movies that nobody ever asked for, bear with me. They make a sequel to Memento, right? Same dude, same issue. He's being exploited and is now like top killer for like an assassin agency because he's constantly training and getting beat the fuck up, but he never remembers everything, so he doesn't know when to stop.
And his
sells
adversary, John Wick.
Yeah, I actually think that would be really fun. A good way to kind of punch it up into a new thing because Mystery Noir is not big right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna leave it at a 10 out of 10 because it
fanboy.
I'd never seen anything like it when I saw it, and rewatching it, I still enjoyed myself, but I knew that it wasn't going to hit the same way the first time I watch it. So I think that means it fits my 10 rating as being life changing in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'll never have that again kind of deal.
Now that we've talked about it at length, do you think your life has changed again? And is it for the better? It's like, no, everything's worse now.
I mean, we're going to see how many people listen to this episode.
Okay. All right, UK and Australia listeners, it's up to you. Please tell a friend to watch Memento.
Get Singapore back. Singapore hasn't been back since we made the Matt Damon joke on
what
the
did you
air
guys
episode.
do?
Okay, so I forgot how we got to it because we're talking about Air. I mean, Matt Damon's in Air, but I think I mentioned somebody brought up Great Wall. It's probably Tim brought up Great Wall, and they're like, "Yeah, the time Matt Damon saved China because that really happened." And then Denzel was like, "Maybe we shouldn't make China jokes, you know?" And I was like, "Why not?" And they were like, "Singapore," and I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, no, double down. And I was like, nah, they know Matt Damon didn't save China. We haven't gotten any Singapore listens since.
Everybody knows it was Tom Cruise that saved China. Right, was that Japan?
That
was Japan.
That was Japan.
Well, sorry, different weight saver complex. My bad.
It's I get both of them confused with what's her name from Avengers, the Asian lady that played Black Widow.
Oh man,
Major Killian, not Major. Sorry, okay, we just went like 3 levels.
Joe. Too many levels.
I think so. What I said, I might leave it a 10 out of 10. I'm cool with that. All right, and I would buy the Criterion. I think the Criterion might have the forward flow cut, but I'll find out for sure. I want to buy the one that has one of the fun games on it, but it might be $1 billion. So I'll leave it at that. But that's the episode. Thanks for listening, guys. Any plugs?
Same as always, just D&D Slugger stuff. Nothing exactly new going on right now. There may be a lull, but that doesn't mean I won't be back like a weird three what are the real boomerangs that had 3 arms and was
Is
like
a
I don't
3-arm
understand.
boomerang?
They like yeah. I think they were made by Whammo.
It's a
But,
bangarang.
Yeah. But I'll
I
be
gotta
back.
look this up. All right.
I'm gonna do more stuff.
I'm lying. It's not a bangarang. I'm sorry.
It sounds like a
reference. That's a reference to Hook.
Oh yeah, it is Hook. But yeah, just check out D&D Sluggers anywhere the internet exists. Find stores near you. I hope.
Stores.
Ren?
Yeah, same thing as always. We are Power Bomber, Instagram, Facebook. I am watching the downfall of Twitter actively right now.
Real quick, what's happening? Because I see people saying Twitter
Elon
is
Musk,
on fire, but no one's explaining it to me, and I don't feel like looking it up.
To the best of my knowledge, Elon Musk said in December of last year that there would be no big system changes, and as of yesterday, the day before, he implemented one that if you are a paying subscribed Twitter Blue user, you get to see up to 6,000 posts a day, and if you are not, you get to see 600. So if you don't have a blue check mark, you can only see 600 posts a day, and then you get slapped with basically something that throttles your ability to view it.
Shit'll just close.
From what I was told, they were trying to implement your ability to see tweets from the website without logging in. And somehow that led to this throttling of the user experience to where if you're not paying, you don't get extra. Even if you are paying, you get a certain amount. That's basically what's going on, though, with us as far as like plugs go. I am going to start to actually force myself back into drawing, which is going to be interesting.
I'm ready for it.
Oh, and for me, Tiffzilla on Letterboxd and SGBK on Twitter. If it's still around by the time
Blue Sky one.
Yeah,
hopefully Blue Sky. You know what? Hive. Let me see what I can do on Hive.
This was fun. I liked this one a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't take notes, but I also didn't feel bad about not taking notes.
You didn't take notes?
I did not take notes.
It was hard to take notes.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, like that was like he had some real Rennie had some real like revelations, and that was just off the top.
Yeah. So here's the thing: Holy Trinity, smoke weed, drink coffee, drink a beer.
And that you figured it out. You figured it out.
Smooth. Okay. I'm just doing chemistry inside of my stomach.
Yeah. Did I say like and follow the podcast?
Possibly
what else?
Maybe on Twitter, but definitely go to the podcast subscribe.
Yeah.
Can you say that one?
Give it a shot. Come on,
why not? Like, comment, subscribe for more content.
All right, and next week is Dunkirk, wrapping up our Christopher Nolan miniseries, and then from there you can go see Oppenheimer in theaters, and then go see Barbie, because you have to see them on the same day apparently.
Yes.
All right, shout out Leonard. All right, guys, take it easy.
All right,
see you on the next one.